Yeah. What up, YouTube? Best Deuce the Name Talking Wrestling is the game. Last night, October 3rd, 2016, Monday Night Raw is in the books, and it kicked off again with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns and Rusev have been embroiled in this feud. A couple of weeks before SummerSlam, Roman Reigns is finally the United States champion. So Roman starts the show, out comes Lana. Roman was getting booed through the building. You could hear this one woman, though, annoyingly screaming the entire time Roman was in the ring. And it was very annoying. Rusev comes out. They have a little brawl. Rusev gets the better of Roman Reigns. He pretty much had an answer for everything. Rusev grabs the United States title. He starts walking up the ramp, and the next thing you know, Roman comes out of nowhere with a Superman punch. Bam! Leaves Rusev laid out. Rana runs away. Roman picks his belt up, challenges Rusev. He accepts his challenge. He accepts Rusev's challenge, but says the only way he gets a title shot is if it's in a Hell in a Cell. Then Raw started getting a little good. TJ Perkins, the Cruiserweight champ, took on Brian Kendrick, the Brian Kendrick, the Wizard of Odd. It was a good match. Very good match. Very strong showing from TJP. Brian Kendrick wins. It was a #1 contendership match, which I have a problem with. You see, guys, my thing is, why have a #1 contendership when your champion is in the match? Brian Kendrick defeated TJ Perkins a few times already. The thing is, TJ Perkins beat Brian Kendrick already a few times. I'm sorry. They have Cruiserweight sitting in the back. Why did they have their champion lose in a #1 contendership match? Doesn't make any sense. But, like my boy King Ross says over at WCPW, new era, same old shit. Then we had a Seth Rollins sit-down interview with Michael Cole. It was all right. It was okay. Seth Rollins says he's going to cancel the Kevin Owens show. From there, we go right into a Braun Strowman squash against a man named Chase Silver, who said he had a dream that he beat up Braun Strowman on Monday Night Raw. Well, if you watched Raw, you know that didn't happen. Braun Strowman demolished this kid, and then after Byron Saxton interviews Strowman, Strowman gets on the mic and says he is the gift of destruction, that the WWE are wasting his talents. Then he gives a warning to Mick Foley that if he doesn't have competition by next week, there might not be a next week. Next up, we had Sami Zayn against Titus O'Neil. These are two journeymen already. They don't know what they want to do with Zayn, but Zayn picks up the victory last night at Titus O'Neil. Titus O'Neil was getting a push. Now he's not getting a push. But Sami Zayn deserved the win. He got the win. Sami Zayn needs to move on. Maybe even a U.S. title feud after Rusev's done. If I had my pick, I'd have Sami Zayn on SmackDown, where he would be treated fairly. Then we had a Cesaro and Sheamus backstage segment when they showed up to the arena at the same time. Cesaro took Sheamus out of the way, blah, blah, blah. They got lost. Definitely the odd couple, and they're definitely playing off that. Then we had another backstage segment between 100,000 commercials, because that's why they have a 3-hour Raw. More commercials. Between Ashton Kutcher and Danny Masterson and Jericho. Kevin Owens really wanted nothing to do with it, you can tell. I think he wants to be taken serious as the Universal Champion. The only way to do that is to break away from Jericho, which they will do after his feud with Rollins is over, I believe. But that 70s show, they said that they're going to be at ringside during the Kevin Owens, Jericho versus the New Day match that they set up during an in-ring segment as well. Then we had Enzo and Cass, which was a nice moment last night. My mother passed away from breast cancer some years ago, and it holds a special place in my heart. I don't really agree with the Susan G. Komen. She doesn't give 100% of the proceeds to charity. Most of the proceeds go to line the pockets of those in the breast cancer research industry. But Enzo and Cass, they had some survivors from breast cancer up. They presented them all with WWE Women's Championship belts, which was good. Then we had our next match was The Club. The newly formed not newly formed, but they have a new attitude. They're finally using the Club how they should be being used, and that's dominant. heels. They kicked the shit out of Golden Truth last night, and even attacked him after the win, which was good because that's what the club should be doing. Then we had the New Day versus Jericho match, which was very good up until Seth Rollins came out and cost Jericho the match. After that, however, Kevin Owens grabs his title, starts walking up the ramp. Seth Rollins attacks Jericho, and Kevin Owens does nothing. If that was his best friend, don't you think he would have sacrificed himself to make sure Jericho... No, I don't think he would have done that either. Very little interaction last night between the champ and his rival. So, I don't know exactly how they're going to go, where they're going to go with this up until Hell in a Cell. But they need to have more reaction, more interaction for sure. Then we had Rich Swann take on Tony Nese in a cruiserweight match, which was definitely entertaining. And Tony Nese picks up the win, but they were pumping up Rich Swann like he's the next big deal. But if you're going to have TJ Perkins keep the belt and he's a good guy, you're going to have to put up a bad guy against the good guy. So expect TJ Perkins to beat Kendrick at Hell in a Cell, and then Tony Nese to demand a title shot and get one at the next pay-per-view. Then we had Cesaro and Sheamus take up more time that didn't need to be taken up and wrestle two jobbers, which was boring as shit. I didn't watch the match. It was probably less than 2 minutes anyway, and I'm sure Sheamus and Cesaro won. And I'm sure they argued half the time because that's the gimmick. They're not supposed to get along. They are the odd couple. Then we had history. Sasha Banks versus Charlotte for the women's title in the main event. And the match got 7 minutes. Between the commercials and the bullshit and the commercials, the match only went 7 minutes. It was more like a 16-minute match, but we didn't get to see none of it. They went to a commercial after Charlotte comes out. After Sasha comes out. They went to a commercial before they announced the combatants in the match. They went to a commercial after the first headlock. Sasha starts making a comeback, they go to a commercial. Charlotte does a moonsault, flip, corkscrew off the top rope, they go to a commercial. In the end, however, Sasha Banks pulls the bank statement out, gets Charlotte wrapped up. Charlotte tries to reverse. Sasha kicks out, holds on to the bank statement, wrenches back on Charlotte's neck. Charlotte taps out. New WWE Women's Champ, Sasha Banks. But why? But why? You just had her drop the belt at SummerSlam, only to win the belt back 3 weeks later, and it makes no goddamn sense. I hear a lot of people saying Raw wasn't mediocre last night. Raw was exactly that. That is the best word to describe Raw last night. Mediocre. This man right here, you see this man? Him and Shane McMahon know exactly what they're doing. I guarantee you SmackDown will be better than Raw tonight. Other than that, man, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Strowman. I like where they're going with the club. They need to keep beating the shit out of tag teams and then finally get their tag team title shot. Maybe at Royal Rumble, maybe even at WrestleMania. But I think the New Day is going to lose those belts to Sheamus and Cesaro, which is a fucking crying shame. Other than that, congrats to Sasha. Here's hoping Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins have more interaction next week. But remember, man, here at Let's Talk Wrestling, it's just me, the camera, you, the viewer, no gimmicks needed. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, and to tell a friend about Let's Talk Wrestling, Monday Night Raw, Mediocre.